those of you that don't know me, I am George Alexandrus Quicano. Luckily for you, you can just call me Alex. Today, we're going to be going over just a very brief introduction into coding, really just the bare bones, not necessarily what you might be thinking. And as we progress, we're going to do a lot of hands-on activities. If you have done some of these things in the past, please feel free to chime in and assist other people at the table. That'd be amazing. All right, so listed up here, we have our three primary objectives. I'm going to be delving into first how to implement the coding sessions online with our students, as well as one offline activity. I will be requiring actually two volunteers for that, so hopefully you guys had your morning coffee. Afterwards, we're going to jump in. The two primary vehicles that we're going to be using for the coding session today is going to be Scratch and code.org. So just real quick, show of hands. Who here in this classroom has ever dealt with Scratch? Okay. What about code.org? Maybe for Hour of Code? A couple people? Okay, 3 people? All right. So yeah, just getting familiar with the user interface, getting familiar with the administrative tools that you have at your disposal, how to manage a classroom, things of that nature. And then yeah, once we've gone over that, it's going to be very hands-on. We're just going to just jump right in and do a couple of mock lessons, really, to really basically get a firm grasp of what we're going to be dealing with. Okay, there's a roadmap. All right. So why code? I can stand up here and talk about it, but I figure videos are always best. So let me just go ahead and play this bad boy. Let me dim the lights. There we go. Make sure my sound is on. It is not. Okay. Oops. Alright, never mind. Alright. No worries. I'll just pull it up here. I should have it saved. I apologize. Can't spell today. There it is. Alright. Pay no attention to the commercials.
It's not running.
Oh, huh. Alright, let me exit out of the PowerPoint then. Ah, there we go. Alright. That's strange. What if we do this? There it goes.
Yeah.
Success. Troubleshooting 101. Hopefully the sound works.
I was 13 when I
Can you hear okay? It's
first got
just
access
gonna
to
yeah.
a computer. My parents
Make it a little louder.
Macintosh in 1984 when I was 8 years old. I was in 6th grade.
I learned to code in college, freshman year, first semester, intro to computer science.
I wrote a program with fake tic-tac-toe.
I think it was pretty humble beginnings. I think the first program I wrote asked things like, what's your favorite color? Or how old are you?
I first learned how to make a green circle and a red square appear on the screen.
The first time I actually had something come up and say, hello world,
I made a computer do that. It was just astonishing.
Learning how to program didn't start off as wanting to learn all of computer science or trying to master this discipline or anything like that. It just started off because I wanted to do this one simple thing. I wanted to make something that was fun for myself and my sisters. And I wrote this little program that basically just added a little bit to it. And then when I was learning something new, I looked it up either in a book or on the internet and then added a little bit to it.
It's really not unlike kind of playing an instrument or something, or playing a sport. It starts out being very intimidating, but kind of connected over time.
I think it is something that can be learned, and I know it can be intimidating. A lot of things are intimidating, but what isn't?
A lot of the coding that people do is actually fairly simple. It's more about the process of breaking down problems than sort of coming up with complicated algorithms as people traditionally think about it.
You don't have to be a genius to know how to code. You need to be determined.
Addition, subtraction, that's about it.
You should probably know your multiplication tables.
You don't have to be a genius to code. You have to be a genius to read.
Even if you want to become a race car driver or play baseball, or build a house, all of these things have been turned upside down by software.
But it is, computers are everywhere. You want to work in agriculture? Do you want to work in education? Do you want to work in manufacturing? It's just all over.
Here we are in 2013. All depend on technology to communicate, to make information, and none of us know how to read and write code.
When I was in school, I was in this after school group called Whiskers, and when people found out, they laughed at me, and all these things. I'm like, man, I don't care. I think it's cool, and I'm learning a lot, and some of my friends have jobs.
Our policy is literally to hire as many talented engineers as we can find. The whole limit of the system is just that there just aren't enough people who are trained and have these skills today.
To get the very best people, we try to make the audience as awesome as possible.
The fantastic chef,
Free food,
breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
free laundry,
Snacks, even places to play, and video games and scooters. There's always kind of interesting things around the office, places where people can play or relax, or go to think, or play music, or be creative.
Whether you're trying to make a lot of money or whether you just want to change the world, computer programming is incredibly important skill to learn.
Told me that software is really about humanity, that it's really about helping people by using computer technology. It would have changed my outlook a lot earlier.
To be able to actually come up with an idea and then see it in your hands and then be able to press a button and have it be in millions of people's hands. I think we're the first generation in the world that's really ever had that kind of experience.
Just to think that if you can start something in your college dorm room and you can have a set of people who have built a big company before together, build something that a billion people use as brand new in their daily lives is just crazy to think about, right? It's humbling and it's amazing.
The programmers of tomorrow are the wizards of the future. You're going to look like you have magic powers compared to everybody else.
It's amazing. I think it's the closest thing we have to a superpower.
Great coders are today's rock stars. That's it.
Okay. So yeah, the video touched on is the many advantageous benefits of I guess, getting into coding, especially at an early age. Just from my personal experiences, I actually work at the School for the Highly Gifted. I am the bilingual education teacher, I am the foreign language teacher, and then I'm also the technology teacher. It's part of a 30-minute STEM block paired with science. So what I've learned as far as why this is beneficial, you're teaching kids problem-solving skills, genuine problem-solving skills that they wouldn't necessarily get possibly anywhere else. We're teaching them how to think logically. We're teaching them about if-then statements, conditional statements. With coding, you can introduce functions and what a function is and how a function works. You can teach them about variables, so it's very mathematics-based, very scientific. So all these things are things that I've learned throughout my experiences this year, and hopefully when we jump in, you'll see for yourself. Oh yeah, but coding is scary, and I agree. When my principal first approached me with implementing a Scratch curriculum or a coding curriculum for elementary school kids, I was pretty terrified. Outside of a couple computer programming classes that I took in college, this wasn't necessarily my strength or my forte, but all it really takes is just the willingness to learn and to be humbled and to allow your students to grow with you. I'll be the first to admit, I might have one or two students that might know a little bit more about the Scratch, how to actually program things than I do, and that's okay, because I'm growing with them. And as you'll see with the approaches that we take, it's all about just learning together and letting them come up with their own creative, unique solutions. So yes, think puzzles and not necessarily Java or HTML. And that should ease some of your fears. Alright, so what is Scratch? I've talked about this at length already. Scratch is basically an open-ended, free source that was developed by MIT. It's similar to Minecraft in that it's very it's creationism based. You can just give them an objective, and the students can just go crazy and just come up with any unique solution as they see fit, based off the characters that you program, which are known as sprites. And then the scripts, that is the actual code. It's drag and drop programming. It's block programming. It's not Java or HTML where you have to type in a bunch of commands and parentheses and hypotheses and things of that nature. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. Everyone, if you would please, if you don't already have your computers out, and we're gonna take a look and just go in and experiment so you can see for yourself. And you're going to go to scratch.mit.edu. And I will tell you, a lot of the training that's going to go on today is going to be geared towards getting you up and running with Scratch, as well as code.org, as far as creating accounts and knowing important things that I feel that you should know if you do intend on implementing this in your classroom, whether it be 30 minutes paired with science, or whether it be some kind of an enrichment piece, a reward that the students get during that science or math time, maybe on Fridays. Something's better than nothing. Whatever you can spare. All right? And one more video, I promise it's not as long. Just what Scratch is. folks. So first things first, why don't we all go ahead and join Scratch. Go ahead and click that link. And then just come up with your unique username. I just do my first and last name here as a mock. Just come up with a quick password. It'll ask you for your birthday. That doesn't matter. And your email address so that they can verify or confirm your account. So I had my school address for my primary Scratch account, so now I'm just going to use a dummy email. Okay, and that's it, simple as that. So everyone hopefully should see you are now logged in. Howdy. And this is important. You have to have a username if you intend to save and share your projects as well as your students. This is a step that my principal recommended that I do myself. It saved a lot of time. If you are feeling adventurous, there is actually a lesson built in to the Scratch curriculum where they create their own usernames. They can get a little chaotic and hectic, so if you have some spare time, it might be a good idea just to draft their own accounts real quickly, so you have access, and so you have access to their passwords in the event that you ever need to log into their accounts. And just save it on a spreadsheet. That's what I did. Okay, so let's go. Once we have officially signed in, if you would please indulge me and click up on the upper left-hand corner, create. And if you have any technical difficulties, I guess you could just look on with the neighbor if you wanted to view. And I'm going to give you 5 minutes or so to just go in and play. So this is what I meant when it was block programming. As you can see, you simply grab a block and drop it here. And these are going to be the list of commands. Here is our sprite, Scratch Cat. If you're not a fan of cats, all you must do is click right here. This little, looks like a treasure troll. I don't know, hopefully you guys know what a treasure troll is. I might have just dated myself. Like that. And it adds more. And then here are all the various blocks at your disposal. Motion blocks, sound blocks, events, and controls. I will give you a hint. If you want your project to run, you must select one of these events. It's basically the trigger that signifies to the program that you want it to go. So for now, I will probably just use when the green flag is clicked. And for instance, so when the green flag is clicked, I will make the bat, which I know is highlighted because it's down here. I will make a move 10 steps. And I will make the cat, he will say hello and move 10 steps. And again, I will just add this little event trigger and I will run it. Alright, so again, 5 minutes just so you can jump in, experiment. If you have any issues, raise your hand. I'll be glad to just help you out. But really, this is just for fun so you can get an idea of what your students would be doing. Yes, ma'am. Okay, it should. You don't have to necessarily confirm the address. You can just go back to Scratch, and you can just. It already has you logged in. You can go right and create and experiment for yourself there. Yeah, yeah. No, I didn't confirm my email until about 2 or 3 months after I jumped in.
Right.
So, yeah. So there's still
Oh,
period.
that's what was holding me up.
Oh, no, it should still let you jump in.
Alright, play around.
Yeah, just play around. How do we run it? What's that? How do you run it? You go to the events, and that's, yeah, where it says events, that's like the trigger.
Oh, okay.
And then there you go. And there's all these other ones. The green flag is the simplest of
So the
events.
orders from bottom up, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, you wanna, because I got caught up on that.
Yeah.
Because Jerry's got piece of it.
Right.
Obviously I'm here and I want to say something about
Right, so the first things first, go to your events, right here, and click the green flag, and drag it open. So, left click, and then drag and drop into the space, and now you can just go in and play with all the things that's locked, see. Yeah, exactly, how to program it. Mine was relatively simple, I just made it move 10 steps, you can go in and
Thank you.
see other things, just, we're gonna experiment for maybe another 4 more minutes, we'll cut it off at 9. It is important that you create something, even if it's not necessarily working, because the next step will involve using what you just created.
Just trying to stay dry.
Yeah. That up there. And for these 4 tables, if you would, if you open that journal, there's some cards there that kind of guide you if you want to do something a little bit more advanced. I only had 4 sets, I apologize. So if you're not sure what to create, feel free to follow the instructions in those cards and it'll guide you to something. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Only in those 4, I ran out.
Oh.
Did you want to share with everybody? Share the cards?
Okay, so I'll put this little bow on here and then,
Uh-huh.
so, did I put this one?
Yeah. And there you go.
She's moved one.
She moves 10 steps. So it's not gonna be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. That's just basically 10 units. Right, right. So, yeah, you can change the units to 1, to 100, to 1,000. If you just don't want to move too much, because then she'll run off the screen.
How do you run it?
If you go to the
There's a
events
little character.
tab, okay. And, oh, you just click that green flag. You already said it. Yeah, so click that, and there you go.
Okay, so where's the events tab?
The events tab is going to be right there. It's going to be in dark orange or burnt orange. And we just drag and drop that flag. Yes, ma'am. Yes, right there where it says create. And just an experiment, right? And I did see some of you have discovered the backdrop. That is also something else if you want to add a backdrop. Make the setting a bedroom, perfectly fine. The backdrops are going to be on the lower left-hand side where it says new backdrop, and it looks like a little picture right there. Backdrops. I'll give you guys about a minute longer, and then we're going to go ahead and jump into the next part. Yeah. Even if you just have like a sprite. Yeah, even if it's just a cat, that's fine. Just so you can see. All right, folks, let's go ahead and move on to the next part. So this is what we've just done now. We've basically created a sample project. However complex, or maybe not so complex it might be, this is a genuine example of coding. So what I want you to do now, right here, where it says untitled, bring your cursor over there, double click, and erase that, and just write coding session. And then your name. So coding session, and then I'll put Alex.
When I added my backdrop, all the stuff over here went away.
Oh, it's not good. Let's stick it like here. Oh, yeah. Go ahead and click the cat back on, and then you'll see. Yeah.
What do you have to click?
Same thing happened to me.
Yeah, just click the cat.
Yeah.
And then you see back on there. What was that?
Click the cat?
Or the star, yeah. So, yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, I see what happened. You see that tab that says scripts? That's gonna be the command code, and that's all you're doing. It didn't disappear. It just, you're in a different tab. You're looking at sounds and processing surveil. That's all.
When I went to do, okay, how do you get it? My screen doesn't.
Go back to the cat. And then go to exit out of that. And then scripts.
All right.
Okay, so after the events.
Right. Oh, are you still creating a project? Yes, we can just say what you have right now. We don't have to run it because we're gonna move on into sharing it to a studio. That's the next part. So what's next up here? Coding. Alex. Alright. If you click out of it, it should save it, or name, I guess save the name. If you'll notice here on the upper right hand corner, it should say saved on your project. Does everyone see saved on your project?
Save now.
Okay. It automatically saves on its own, I think periodically every 30 seconds or a minute or so. So the next step, I want everybody to do, click share. If you do not share a project, you are not able to share it with other people publicly. So everyone should have saved and shared. And again, don't be frustrated if the project isn't necessarily working how you'd like. This is the important part, just knowing how to save and share a project. And now we're going to move into something else, which is known as creating a studio. Question?
No.
Good.
I don't know how to get back.
Oh, that's perfectly, you're fine right there. So some of you might have gone here where it says project page. And that's fine as well. This is what the outside world would see. So now you've created your own account. This is open to the public. So anybody that logs into Scratch, if they wanted to see my coding session that I created today, they could just look it up on the search bar, and this is what they would see. Okay, so this is what you would have your students do anytime you have them complete a project. Now, don't be alarmed. In a minute here, I'm going to show you the Scratch curriculum. It's a 154-page document that's already done for you. It's very straightforward, broken up fairly easy. So don't think that you have to come up with these projects organically. There is a framework for this. Okay, so everyone should have saved and shared. If you're not on the screen, that's fine. The next step that I'm going to have you do, I'm going to have you share something to my studio. A studio is basically an online gallery where your classroom can go in and share their project, and you have one place to view them all at. So imagine instead of the students, running around with their computers, hey, look at my project, hey, look at my project, hey, look at my project, they just go to this website on Scratch, and everybody can see everybody's work. So I'm going to create the studio, and then you're going to add your project to my studio. Alrighty, so let me create the studio now. And let's see, on the folder, right here, new studio, and this is just for future reference when you get to this. New studio. Oh. It's making me confirm it, that's fine. Let me log into my real account so I can create a studio here.
So Alex, you're Alex.
Oh no, this is my
You're Alex, not Flower.
no, George Kikano is Lex, yeah.
I know him now.
There it is. Alrighty folks. So I'm just gonna create a studio here. This is my actual classroom account that I use. So new studio, I'm gonna call this coding session 1. And you can just write a little description here where my teachers can share their projects. This isn't necessary, just showing you a function here. And that's it. It creates a unique URL, and that's the URL that I want you to type in right now in your PCs, and it should direct you directly to my project, my studio.
So we open a new tab?
Yes, open a new tab. I'll give you a couple of seconds, and it's just scratch.mit.edu/studios/1320512. I know it's kind of small. Let me. That's not working. Some of you are in. For those of you that are already in, you just click Add Projects. Below, you should see the one project that you saved and shared. If you did not share your project, you will not see this here as available for you to select to share to my studio. So I'm just going to add something randomly that I've done in the past. Click Add, and there we go. And then it refreshes live time, real time. So there we go. We have Gwen's, Kathy's, Robert's, and Desiree's sessions already on my studio. All right. And us. All right. And this is a very important step, just because, again, it becomes really difficult to, I guess technically you could search in the search taskbar for each individual student, but this just makes it a heck of a lot easier. All in one place, one-stop shopping, so you can ensure that your students are on task. Okay. So I showed you the basics of creating a project. I showed you the basics of, you saw me create a studio, and then you yourself shared your project to my studio. These are 3 important tools. With each and every Scratch lesson that you give, you're always going to use these 3 steps. So it's very important to become familiar with these 3 steps that we just covered. All right, any questions so far? We're all following? Okay. So, now what I'm going to go ahead and show you is the Scratch curriculum. And this is something that I have on my USB. I can save it to your PC. If not, I will be emailing this to the people that signed in today. So you have this at your disposal. As I mentioned, it's 154 pages. It is lengthy. I will let you know. It's broken up into 6 sessions. My group of students this year, we started mid-September. Like I said, we worked approximately 30 minutes a day. Sometimes we had to skip it just due to time constraints, but we barely got through session 3. So we're not even halfway done with the Scratch curriculum. So there are ways for you, even though I use it for elementary, there are ways to up the rigor as indicated in the lesson plans if you're in middle school or even high school. I know at Dubisky, one of the teachers there was using Scratch to teach his high school kids a basic introduction to coding. So this is for all levels if you're buying into the fact of, again, logical reasoning, and problem solving, genuine problem solving. All right, so what I'm going to show you is just a sample lesson plan. This is what they're going to look like. Very pretty for teachers. We have our objective. We have our activity description. We have our suggested time. I will let you know that typically with my kids, it took usually double the amount of time they suggested, sometimes triple. That's perfectly fine. Just get what you can done during that allotted time and just revisit at a later moment or a later time.
I'm sorry, what was your grade level?
It's 1st, 2nd, and 3rd graders. So I had kids as young as 5 years old that were doing this, and as old as 9 or 10. So yeah.
And none with special needs or?
No. I'm sorry, not 10, just 9, 8 or 9. Sorry.
Oh, over it.
All right, so we have our description. It will outline exactly what you need to do, what you need to ask the students. It has your resources. This is where I found that intro Scratch video. I just copied this link and then I pasted it into a tab and I viewed the video for you guys to see. And it has reflection prompts. This is why I set some of these journals at your tables. Those journals have authentic examples of what my kids wrote anytime they were reflecting back on a project that they completed. So it always asks the what or the why. It asks for them basically to give their train of thought in words. So if you don't necessarily want to take this up for a grade for science or math, maybe you can take it up as an ELA grade just based on their writing, making sure that they're actually coming up with something that makes sense. That's what I typically would do, just to make sure that they were on task and actually wrote in their design journals. So this is user friendly, right? Anyone can just pick this up and go with it. All right. Now what I'm going to show you, so this is an example we just did of an online coding activity that does require computers. Even though maybe you don't have a 1-to-1 ratio, maybe you only have computers once a week, maybe you have to go to computer lab, whatever the case may be, there are also lessons built into Scratch where you don't even need a computer at all other than your own. So we're going to do a sample, and it's called offline coding activity. So at this time, I'm going to ask for 2 volunteers, preferably one that doesn't mind being a little bossy, and then the second person, somebody that doesn't mind taking directions. So do I have any takers? Okay, I got one. Elisha B, do you want to do it together? Okay, that'll work. So the person's going to be taking instructions. If you would please take a seat right here for me.
Oh, hello.
She's going to boss you around, okay. All right, and then you can just stand right in front of her here.
Okay.
And we're going to do a sample of an offline coding activity right now. So all I ask you to do not look back, just keep your eyes forward.
Okay.
And I will tell you in a minute what your job is going to be.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. Is this my initiation for being a
But you're dry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so my person that is giving instructions, your task is to explain to the person that needs to receive the instructions what is going on in this video using only words. You cannot use hand signals, you cannot use anything of that sort, only speaking it out and verbalizing it.
Okay.
And then after it's done, we're going to ask if she is able to recreate the things that you told her to do. Okay? Simple enough?
I think.
Okay? And it's a 30-second video. It runs twice, so if you miss it the first time, it'll give you another shot.
Okay.
All right, we ready?
Yes.
Okay.
This is an older gentleman. He had left and right, and arms out, exercising arms, up, down, straight, nothing. Then you look at the arms. Beside you, outward, up, down, looks like the Macarena on the
Okay. Okay, so for my person that was giving the instructions, what was hard about this activity?
that I could move with them. I want to move.
Yeah?
Okay, yeah.
And for the person that was receiving the instructions, first off, do you think you could recreate the dance that she was explaining if we asked you to right now?
I could try.
You could try?
Definitely.
All right, what do you think it looked like?
It sounds like he's dancing with his arms out to the side, straight to the forward, like
Yes,
this.
yes.
Okay.
Okay, why don't you turn around and take a look at the video for yourself?
Yay. You can stand like a statue. Yeah. First of all, I didn't have that look, but.
You didn't say body movement.
Yeah.
And then the music, of course, helps me out. Good job.
Okay, thank you for my volunteers.
Tell the star is trying to describe the degree, the angle he's in.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
It's a certain degree, and I mean, that's.
Mm-hmm.
You can also do it as a clock though. You could do it as.
Sure.
You can do it as a clock, yeah.
75.
You could have done it that way. You could have done angles, 45, 90, exactly.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
So this gets
Take
our,
30 seconds.
so this is pretty difficult. This gets our kids thinking the way computers think, because then the next question is, how would this tie into Scratch? Well, computers, you can't give them hand signals, you can't give them things of that sort. You can only give them data entry. So computers are very focused on the minutia when it comes to being very explicit and very specific. And it becomes really hard when you're trying to generate complex movements like we just found out. So this gets them thinking, okay, I have to be very precise and very specific anytime I enter code, because if not, the program isn't going to understand what I want it to do. This is the perfect example of an offline coding lesson that you can give to your students to really get them to buy in on how Scratch thinks and how they need to deal with that. And just so you can see what the lesson plan would have looked like for this offline coding lesson, it's on page 30 here. Here we go, program to dance. This is a lengthier video. There's quite a bit of other dances that you could have done. We only have time for one. But again, outlined exactly the same way. Describing the activity. It gives you the reflection prompts. These are vital. If you're not going to do, the reason why some of you noticed that design drills weren't necessarily as lengthy as you would have thought, given that we did this the whole year, these were typically, if not written, I would just ask them to the class. Let them think, pair, share for 30 seconds with their neighbor, and then share with the class as a whole. So this is very important to tie things in to make sure that the learning took place.
Is this one suggested lesson, I see 45 to 60 minutes?
Yes.
And are you using all of the dance videos
Yes.
in that time?
Exactly. That allows for all of your volunteers and all of the dances that they're all pretty funny. The kids love this. This is probably one of their favorite offline coding activities that they did. All right, so any questions on offline coding?
Is that labeled offline coding?
No. Anytime it doesn't require the kids to be on a computer, you can just assume that it's offline coding. Right. And then also, it just has this pretty little disco ball with unicorn. The good part about these lessons is there's a corresponding sheet that is accompanied with the lesson plan. So for instance, let me scroll up here. When I showed you guys how to add things to a studio, that's up here. There's actually a lesson for that. Scratch Studio. Again, very familiar. You've seen already 3 of these lesson plans. And correspondingly to this, what you show your students, the worksheet. And it gives very specific information. It has pictures, so very sequential. In the event that they get lost, you can always just have this projected in their on your Elmo so that they can see this if they ever get off task or not necessarily sure what they need to be doing. All right. So we talked about online coding in Scratch. We talked about offline coding in Scratch. The last piece of the puzzle that we're going to discuss, we're going to be dealing with code.org. So let's go ahead and let me exit out of here. And if everyone would please go to studio.code.org. Studio.code.org. And then once you're there, just go to Teacher Sign Up. And then we just type in our information here. And then, yeah, the stuff that's optional, I hardly ever do that. Okay, and after you've created your account, this should be the page that everybody sees. And I'll give give you guys a little bit more time to set up your account. I'm gonna log out. This is a dummy account that I just created on the spot to show you guys. Let me actually log into my genuine account.
It says the address, school name is optional, but they
Yeah.
won't give you a, I skipped it, but it's still not good. Oh, you just put it in my name. It said it's optional.
Yeah.
It should be, but it's still not.
Was it maybe, was the password at least 6 characters? 6 or 7? Refresh it? Refresh this page? Or you can refresh this page one more time and then go back inside and recreate it. I've had most success using Google Chrome. Some people have used Internet Explorer and had not really many issues, but I would, if you're going to pick a browser, I would stick typically with Chrome for compatibility issues and things of that nature. Alrighty, folks. And before I jump into this, our teacher homepage, why don't you just click your progress or your course progress? And I remember when the show of hands about approximately only I think 3 of you guys had worked on any of these lessons. Pick a lesson and just work some of the sample games, logic puzzles that are built in. So pick Hour of Code, pick Course 1, anything that you see fit, anything that looks cool. There's Frozen, whatever tickles your fancy, and just jump right in. Let's go, play ladder. Yeah, so you can pick any of these, Flappy Code, Hour Code, and then just jump right into the lesson. It's already written. Yeah, course progress. You can pick any of those courses and it'll just throw you in there. I'll give you guys about 6 minutes to play around.
Which ones you go into, which correspondence?
Go to course progress. Yes. And then click on any of these that you want that looks cool. The Hour Code, Frozen. Okay, so you already signed up for Hour Code, it looks like, so you can just continue on lesson 6 or 7, lesson 20.
That's her, she already signed in.
How did I do that?
Oh, you already signed up? Oh, okay. So it's similar to what we're doing in the drag and drop program. So when I click the run block, I can do what? You program it to give you your clap. So right now, when you click it, nothing really happens. You have to program it with some of these codes. So you just drop in that one. Drag and drop. And then bring it over. No worries. And then just make it click.
It just refreshes.
I think you have to bring the blue block up to the green block. Right under it. And connect the microphone. Right there. And then lift up. There it goes. So now reset the program. And then you click run. So you're gonna click on your mouse pad when you want to do something. So click OK. Click on your mouse. objective is to hit that target.
To get.
That target that's up there.
Oh.
Elsa moves forward a certain amount of space. Once under makes it back.
And again, folks, it's just like we were doing with Scratch, it's that drag and drop. Hold on to it, and then make sure it clicks, and then run it and see if it works.
Turn lane lock that makes Elsa turn a certain amount. You can play around with how far you want Elsa's turn. The angle is measured from the path ahead of Elsa. So this is a 90-degree turn, and this turn is a 20-degree turn. And remember, you can change the angle of 2 degrees by clicking the arrows next to
For
it.
our code, I know for this last one, the majority of folks use this code.org.
Okay, so now once you see the video, go where you are.
Or wherever you picked. So you picked it, so you picked the frozen lesson, so you can click OK. And she wants you to create a single line, and then it tells you what you need to drag and drop in order to do the objective. So just like we're doing Scratch, you click on the block, and then you bring it over. And make sure it clicks. There you go. And then if you want to see if it works, just hit run. Yeah. And then it builds on.
Oh, it builds on that.
Yeah, it builds on it as you go. The objectives of the task get more and more complicated the more you measure.
We've actually done this,
I was trying to read.
the entire school did this program.
Oh, yeah?
This hour of calls.
Did you guys, you also you did it as well?
Okay.
Kids figure this stuff out quick.
Yeah.
It almost seems like a waste of time, you know, to try to get into something that's easy to do, so,
Yeah.
Below past this is like elementary level stuff.
Sharing this with you, so.
The good thing about it is, I mean, they do build up, if it comes to high school, yeah, maybe Code.org is gonna be the best example, but definitely Scratch is applicable to high school. And then they have, I think, course 1, 2, 3, 4, I think course 4, in the middle, I'll double check here, but that runs up until middle school.
Yeah, that's what we're doing in school.
Okay.
So they're pretty good at this stuff. It's interesting.
Yeah. There's amazing tech center.
Yeah. No surprise.
Stored in really hideous and fun. Me too. Just stored it.
I know, you guys remember that?
Yeah. Turn right, move forward, turn right.
I don't see all this, that's right. Find out, yeah, I don't know if
There's,
that's.
on this one, you can actually type in your own stuff to.
Everybody else.
I'm going very simple. Yeah, she stopped, okay, so maybe one more. Just gotta turn right.
It tells you how many you need to do.
Alrighty, folks, so, I think most of you guys have gotten the hang of it, or at least gotten to see what it looks like. Again, it's very logic-based, and if some of you got a chance to see if you completed a lesson successfully, I'm sure it does give you the option of translating the block text into actual HTML or JavaScript. Did you guys get a chance to see that? No? Okay, so let me do that real quick. So Fleckenberg here, he has to move 1, 2 steps. So move forward twice. Move forward twice, and then turn left.
So should you?
I'm just gonna solve this puzzle really quickly. I wanted to show you guys 1, 2, 3, left. Okay. Alright, that should work. Okay, and it allows you to see the code. So this is beneficial, especially maybe not so much for the elementary level ages. My kids don't really pay much attention to this, but for the middle school ages and even the high school ages, this is beneficial Again, they get the chance to see under the hood of block programming and actually see what it looks like in Java. So again, this isn't necessarily something that we're going to teach them, but just simply by exposing them to this type of language is going to be beneficial for them when they get a chance to take a course like this, be it in high school, be it in college. So something else that I wanted to show you guys. The ways that I would use code.org, primarily I would use it as differentiation when I was working with maybe the advanced group of students in the elementary school, maybe some of the kids that were a little bit more behind. This is a chance for them to still think logically, be on task, do something that's fun. The primary difference between this and Scratch, you're creating whatever you so desire. With code.org, you're playing the game. As simple as that. But the drag and the drop programming, exactly the same. So now, what I want you guys to do on the upper right hand corner, go to the teacher homepage. You click your name, and right here, it'll take you back to our original starting point. Alright, and then I'm just going to expose you to what these areas mean. Students, account, and progress. So, if you are in a middle school or a high school, I know most of those kids are going to have an email. I believe they should all have Gaggle accounts. I know some of our elementary school kids don't necessarily use Gaggle too much. But you can have them create their own accounts and just join your classroom. With me, dealing with elementary kids, I had to go about it a different route. So what I'm going to show you now, I'm going to show you creating a classroom. So all you're going to do, you're going to click New Section. And then I'll just name it Coding.
How did you get back to the teacher's homepage?
Oh, on the upper right hand corner, you should see your name, and then click your name, and then it'll say teacher dashboard, or teacher homepage. So go to your name, and then teacher homepage.
I'm on the teacher.
Oh, I'm sorry, and then student accounts in progress. So this is creating a class. Now again, for you middle school and high school people, you can probably do the email route. If you're in the elementary levels, I would stick with either a picture or a word. So they'll just do a word, that's going to be their login. Grade, whatever your grade is. And then the courses that you can assign them. I primarily stuck with these courses 1, 2, 3, and 4. Because course 4 is the hybrid course. I'm on course, the farthest we got is course 3, so I'll just pick course 1. And then by saving this, you now have a classroom. And if you edit it, you can add students to it. So just by editing it, by managing students, there we go. And then you just add your students if you have it imported on an Excel spreadsheet. Junior, senior.
And you import it from the spreadsheet?
If you are able to, so add multiple students, if you have them all on a worksheet, on a spreadsheet, and then you can just control copy and then control paste right here. For multiple students, right? So this is, and then once you're done with that, just make sure that you select that you are done. And it would have the list of students and your classroom. So the cool part here, so now you're probably wondering, okay, well I created a classroom, how do my students actually access their accounts? So that I can manage them and see what their progress is on code.org. This is how you would do so. So I'm just going to pick, I'll pick a random one here.
So they can't join using the code for the class?
Yes, that's what I was going to get into exactly. They're going to have to use a code. So middle group. And here you have how far they have gone. For instance, if I wanted to see Gabriel's progress, I just click on Gabriel. And then I see the green the green check marks are good, and the green that are kind of like grayed out or a little bit not as dark as the others. That just means that they completed it, but not with the allotted number of blocks that it suggested. The keys was down here if you ever forget. And then you can see exactly where he's struggling, where he's at. So on the flip side, you would just go to Manage Students. And if you scroll down on Manage Students, right here, print out cards with your students' login info. And then you just hand these out to them, or you can keep them somewhere in your desk and just hand them out periodically whenever you're going to use code.org. And yeah, so just like you were saying earlier, this is the class code. So this is a URL that they would log into. So you just put it up on the board, put it up on the Elmo. They find their names. There's Gabriel. What's my secret word per that piece of paper my teacher gave me? Oh, it's spell wide. Okay. Sign in. Maybe I missed
Too many spaces.
Ah, yeah. That's what it was.
No, I meant they can't.
They can't what?
Like Edmodo gives you a code, they couldn't just use the code to sign in and put in their.
No, it's going to have to be either you're going to generate it, the passcode's either this way, either via picture, or if they have the email, they can generate their own unique passwords. But it's not going to be as simple as just joining the classroom and just being able to jump right in. Because then, I guess other kids might try to hack their accounts and mess with their progress. All right, and then they're in, and they can just pick off where they left off. They know the green check marks mean that I've done that lesson, yellow means that I have not, or the white box means that I have not. So you just click on a particular link and you're off and running. Okay? Let me get out of Gabriel's account. I don't want him to get upset with me. And I'm just going back to the teacher homepage. I think it still thinks that I'm Gabriel, so I might have to sign out. Yeah. That's what I get for trying to get in his account, I guess. There we go. All right. So real quickly, the course progress, you already saw that. That's just your progress on a particular course that you're electing to sign up, that you're wanting to do. Lesson plans and resources. You can ask, there's FAQs, they answer them for you via videos. There's actual printed curriculum that code.org has developed. If you like to go that route, it does take a lot of download. I will warn you right off the bat.
I'm sorry, I didn't see what tab you were on.
Oh, yeah, certainly. So it is under the teacher homepage, lesson plans, and resources.
There we go.
Mm-hmm. And then you can just download various worksheets, their curriculum. Help in community, all it is open forums that you can reach out to other people that are on code.org. If you're stuck on a lesson, if you're having issues managing the classroom, if you're having tech problems, if you go here, your answer might be there. The two things that are probably, I think, are the coolest part of code.org are these two. I'm pretty geeked about discussing these with you before we run out of time. The first one was professional development. I went to one of these professional developments that was sponsored by code.org. It is completely free. It is quite a bit of a time commitment, and I didn't really get paid for it. But I got free breakfast out of it, so that was cool. They had Panera bread. It was awesome. So it's approximately 6 or 7 hours. I think my session lasted about 5.5. And basically what you do is you just give them where you're at. You click on the, not that one, the other one. That might be done. There we go. So you just go info, sign up. This was the lady that actually facilitated my code.org training, Kim Lane. And just sign up for it if you have the ability to do so. So she goes more in depth with the code.org curriculum. She gives more hands-on lessons. Again, I use it primarily kind of as a supplementary piece to my Scratch curriculum. But if you're at all interested, I would highly recommend that. I did learn quite a bit from her. And you get free stuff. Free stuff's always good. You get this bag of goodies. Yay. Curriculum. And then you get a couple of, some of the materials needed for their offline coding activities. So if you have the ability to do so, I would recommend attending one of these sessions. And then last but not least, probably my favorite component of signing up with a teacher account on code.org, you can Skype professionals in coding, people that work for Microsoft, people that work for Xbox, people that work for Apple, and lifetime Skype with them and present them with your class. So you could just set up on the Elmo, you could let your kids know, okay kids, on Friday, we're gonna be Skyping with so-and-so from Xbox, you know, come up with some good questions to ask her or him, and we're just gonna have a chat. So this is really cool. And it's as simple as just clicking on computer science guest speakers. You must have a Skype account. So if you don't already do that, you can just log into Skype and get that set up. You would find a guest speaker. It's going to ask, where are you? I am right around here. That's about DFW, approximately. I could zoom in if I wanted to be more precise. There we go. And we'll say, right there. And it gives you the option, how old are your students? Elementary, middle school, high school, whatever applies, go ahead and click that. And then you go next. It asks, what is the ideal time for you to meet with a guest speaker? So you can pick all the days. Maybe I'm gonna just a lot of Friday afternoon. So you just click that time block. If you're available anytime, select all, whatever the case may be. I will just do Friday. And next. Nice. I've already created some of my favorites. I would have to remove them from my list, but if I hadn't, it would let me scroll to the various people. It gives you their time zone, where they work, gives you a brief bio, what they do. So my list is full, so I would actually go back and have to deselect the people that I had selected if I wanted to pick somebody else. But you get to pick up the 2 guest speakers. You click on this star, it'll put their little picture down here. Oh, there we go. Just like this. And you move on. And this is where you need to have a Skype account. And then it'll actually set up a time and an appointment to schedule a live Skyping session with one of these coding professionals. So pretty cool. Alrighty, folks. So, any other questions with code.org about the workshops or anything? Okay. I'm going to give you guys maybe 5 more minutes to explore the teacher dashboard if you wanted to import a classroom, if you wanted to look into more about signing up for a workshop, or just look at the curriculum that they have. And then after that, we're going to wrap up. So 5 minutes to just explore code.org, the teacher dashboard. Right, yeah. It's only put down. That's why I know they have middle school curriculum, but it says that the district has to be, I guess, a district-wide partner, and then they would ask if you would have to sponsor or have code.org workshops at your campus. At Kennedy? Okay.
No, they have them at the.
So I mean, the good part is you can still maybe assign some other courses, like you have courses, the 3 or 4 of the more advanced courses.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll start with the beginning.
Yeah, exactly. I get one, usually just like one a year, like goals.
So how long does it attend the English?
this is, we just finished our third year.
I got this one right there. I got the baseball one.
It's still Longhorns, but it's one.
She got a plain one.
Yes, I've been there and I used
Last year, I got
this will be 30.
Under Armour t-shirt.
Okay. Yeah.
Arlington Man.
Yeah. Drums is real close.
Yeah.
Those McDonald's.
Yeah. I went to least.
Under Armour, like you get one of the GPIs, you play as much as
See, I do the website, and I know we have the coding, there's code that you can work on that. So, and I know we had a coding club that the librarian, the LMS had. And so, but she didn't use any of this.
Really?
So this is, I don't know what she used.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious.
I know. So,
Yeah.
I mean, even through learning.com, I've used some third, fourth, and fifth grade, and they had trouble with it.
Oh.
Girls, then you know,
Yeah.
boys.
Yeah. That's good. And like I said, if you
I
got my
like
card.
Scratch too.
Yeah.
Because that's problem solving and figuring out how to get from point A to point B. And then to point C is figuring out the process so that our boys don't think logically.
Right, yeah.
At all. And so that's what they need to learn.
And I like it just because there's multiple solutions to a problem, and I love when they come up with something I didn't even think of. I had never presented my solution until the very end after they all come up and had a chance to come up and share their project with the class. And, oh, how did you go about solving this? And what was the train of thought when you did this or this and that? And they just love it.
You know, the difference in our ages is for some still, they'll tell me, can you listen to our music? I go, I can't do this activity and this activity and then learn the activity, and they go, I go, well, that's wrong. They go, and so usually it depends on what it is and whether I let them listen, but it's a learning change. On how we both learn, and they had to educate me.
Yeah, we're both learning a lot.
I have a question.
Yes.
Because I was just curious, when I look at the classes, we had one in Flower Mound, but it's during the year.
Oh.
Yeah, and then she goes one waxing.
Yes. If you just zoom in, yeah, that's why the TBA, to be determined, that is.
That's over here, yeah.
So if you do the second one behind it, this one actually has, St. John's.
St. John on this first.
Yeah.
So they sponsor them throughout the year. I think they limited a session, I think it was mid-November when I went to mine. But it was all the way out to Keith, so they're getting closer, at least it's in Dallas.
So this, like, every time you click the flag, that's when this happens?
Exactly.
But it doesn't turn, so that's something around.
Oh, so yeah, so the point's two directions, so that's the, so your pointer, that's what he's looking at. If you want him to turn, then you gotta go to, turn, the degrees, yeah.
Okay.
No problem.
I told her I was going down to the rock
But she's top, she's saying so long. Okay, so you're the opposite.
Oh, I thought y'all were waiting for next week.
All right, folks. So the 5 minutes to explore the teacher dashboard are up. So I'm just going to leave you with this last quote. Again, just going back to me at the beginning of September when my principal told me I was going to do this. I had the deer in the headlights look going on. I can't implore enough how straightforward and how great the Scratch curriculum is. And again, it is something that I will get to each and every one of you. I'm here as a resource. You have my email, you have my card. If you're ever stuck on something, if you ever want to talk about how to implement something, if you want to collaborate with the session, I'm here for you. Getting started is more important than becoming an expert. And like I said earlier, I probably have 2 or 3 kids that know more about Scratch than I do, but that's okay because I ask those guiding questions, and that's what hopefully you guys can do the same. Again, I can't tell you guys enough of the benefits of Scratch and coding, especially at an early age. So I really hope that you guys took something from this and that you're able to use it in your classrooms. So any other questions before we, I guess, leave a little early? No?
Do they, I noticed some of the sessions in Austin at the Microsoft Store offer like CPE credits. Do all of them, I mean, I guess it would count for.
I mean, if you brought it up,
the districts.
yeah, you'd have to get it approved by the principal of the district. Yeah.
Is that this?
Yeah, it's like jumping through hoops.
It's just like trying to get some work, take a while for that to kind of pass through, instead of trying to get it past the, well, because only the district, because it has that GT program, I'm sure that's probably why they just placed it there first. Is this just, a start of it? They don't have it in any other schools at this time?
Not that I'm aware of. I know I think there might be some after school clubs, and then at the high school level they might have that. But yeah, it's not too common. Surprising, yeah. Again, I'm here for you guys. So if you want to stay around and play around with Code.org or Scratch, feel free to do so. We have the room till 10. If not, you're free to go. And thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, you can leave the journals on the table. I'm gonna get a trip to the next room and hand this to cards now. It's right now it's first thing and they're adding a fourth thing this year. So yeah, I kind of got lucky because I just transitioned to bilingual. We have a good one at late, and they didn't even know they were going to need a bilingual teacher until yeah, September. So all the spots have been taken up. So everyone else, so I'm kind of just now that I got my certification, right, kind of late in the game. And at first they were offering me just a professional job working at times, but then I guess I work with them for those weeks and they yeah. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, the first day. Appreciate it so much.
No problem.
Thank you.
Make sure to stop recording. Oh yeah, thank you for that. That would have been bad.